Here is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, you can feel the humidity out there, but when you get a good look at these upper-level clouds and these low-level clouds, that's where we're looking for some of those stronger concentrations for some of these pockets of rain by tomorrow. Now, by Wednesday evening, it's going to start making its way in, and then by Thursday, strong amounts of thunderstorms, but the circulation was what has me concerned. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours inside the 30-degree range, all the way down into those mid-50s, then pushing all the way up into that 90-degree mark, and we'll see how long we stay there underneath these cloudy skies, because we're going to level out in those lower 60s tonight. So it's going to be a beautiful evening. 90 degrees in San Angelo. Everybody else on a combination of those upper to mid 80s across the entire Concho Valley, looking for 10 degrees, 89 in Sterling City, 89 down there in Junction, 90 up there in Ballinger, looking like about 3 degrees across the entire Concho Valley. But it's a beautiful day and you can feel the humidity out there. Humidity indices are way up there in those 40s, while dew points are also in those 40s. Excuse me, I've got those all flipped around. Dew points are in those 40s, humidity indices are in those 20s across the entire Concho Valley, but we have our attention to the south and off towards the west with some of that cloud cover making its way in. There we go. Moisture tracker is going to show you where these concentrations of blues will just give up by the time they get to the Concho Valley. Look at it bubble up, and then it starts to make its way up towards eastern Texas, and then it gets awfully dangerous very quick. This is where I have my attention on that circulation. Then off the west coast, whole lot of high pressure still pushing these storms up and around and across the Rocky Mountains. Now, upper level pattern is going to show you where the high pressure will linger around. This upper level pattern, this long wave trough, is going to be so strong. It's going to pull a lot of moisture into our area. There's a small one that makes its way through. That's going to be enough to kick those storms out of the way. And then look how strong this zonal flow is across the entire United States. That means perfect weather down here in the Concho Valley. Now, water vapor imagery is showing you the subtropical ridging. What is happening? That is trying to fight its way over the Big Bend region, but off towards the west coast, getting a better idea of this high pressure, and here comes our storm that's going to push down. Now we're waiting for these two systems to interact before it starts to pull that moisture up into the Concho Valley. Severe weather outlook is off towards the eastern part of Texas, and we take you down to the surface, keeping our eye again on some of this low cloud cover. Now, in the future cast, we're going to get an idea of this high cloud cover and the low cloud cover making its way in around Wednesday morning. This is where it's going to get spotty across the entire area by the afternoon. Take a good look at the circulation as it starts to spin up by Thursday. It's going to push some of that moisture up into the Concho Valley, but it is trying to circulate like a hurricane. So we're getting a better idea of where they're going to form. And I don't know if you guys remember last year, Beryl started in a very similar situation. We have our eye on it. So tonight, down into those comfortable 60s as the cloud cover builds in. Then tomorrow, a cloudy start. You saw the future cast. We're on the lookout for that rain. So be careful when you're out there because it's going to be the first time it's rained in a while. So we're on the lookout for some of those slick conditions, some of those oil spills, and of course some of that loose dirt. As the rainstorm starts to make its way here, we drop all the way down into those 70s, but then we're on the warm-up as by the weekend, pushing all the way back up into those 90s. But now the rain is off and on instead of the winds as we see them back and forth in the afternoon, if not evening, thunderstorm pattern, while those overnight lows continue to level out in those mid-50s and not those lower 60s. Stay tuned. Well, more of the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.
Enjoy